Hello and welcome to our Spreadsheet to Cloud series. We're going to show you the features and the services that this system platform can provide. And then as we go along per modules of the system, we're going to show you how to customize and modify um, the system according to the requirements of your company. And then at the end of the video series, we're going to give you the name of the software and platform that we used for this review. So in this video, we're going to discuss about the system for human resources that you can customize, you can modify, or uh, you can create something like this from scratch. Okay, let us start. Okay, this is the first module of our HR system. Under that menu, we have the other modules that is for this. We have for the timesheet, the overtime claim, the leave of absence, the staff requisition form, and the job postings, application resume, application interview record, and employee attendance. Also, we have for the employee performance narrative, the self-appraisal, the uh, employee performance quantitative, and then for supervision and for the supervisor and the non-supervisor. Okay, let's try to discuss our first module, and then we're going to show you as we go along our system discussion. We will try to customize and show you examples on how to modify this system per module. Okay, let's start with our first module. This is the employee management module. Again, as we mentioned, we're looking at this interface. We call it the list view, wherein we can see the list of all the records. We have 1, 2, 3 records in our list view. When you click on one record in the list view, okay, the system will bring you to another illustration, which is the details view. This is where you can see the details of, let's go back, of all the records that are here in the list view. Let's try to click here, and then let's add our first records. Okay. Donatello for the last name, affiliate, okay, automatic. So personal ID, that's 101. Birth date, you have a drop down menu for that. Let's see, 15. That's let's see, 1984. Okay, system will compete for that. Okay, level bachelor's degree. You have a choice for marital status, single, married, or you can add. Okay. Gender, if you have, okay, let's type M, so you don't have to drop down. Simply type S for the single. Okay, for the job status, you can choose, or you can add other fields. User account, drop down. We only have one user registered to that. On the department, you can drop down, say, in the productions department. Line manager, drop down. Okay, let's choose one. Level, third. On the job title, permanent. Or again, if the choice is not included on the list, you can always add new. recruited from. You can choose from direct application, employee referral, recruitment agency, or advertising direct. Okay. Extension none. For the mobile number, you can add that. The beginning date is 2015. The leaving date is this year. Okay. So, personal contact information, you just have to fill this up. Makati, Metro Manila, 0917. Okay. For the email, let's try fill this up. Donville at gmail.com. This is, let's say, TechGeek Metro Manila. Okay, great. So in case of emergency, let's try to put a birth, father, house phone is 123 4567. Office phone is 453 12345. For the mobile phone, it's just 123. Okay. So for the work experience, let's try automobile parts. Laguna. Title is assembler. Try to include the date. '19. Okay. School name. School of Palanan, education level. Okay. Let's try to save this. And now, highest level, bachelor, single, and then male. Let's try to save this. Okay, that's it. We have now the record for our employee, and then let's try to upload an image for that. Okay, great. So we just added our employee. Okay, that's it. So you will notice that there are these areas wherein when you try to hover your mouse, you can see the values of that. This is the address. When you try to click here, okay, you're being directed by the system to the actual address. So this is effective for location addresses and for the logistics department or for the deliveries. So it is already linked to the Google Maps. Okay, and then you won't be having hard times in encoding because most of the text fields are selection fields here. Okay, you just have to choose to fill in that particular record. Okay, so it has a notification feature. Welcome to HR Dev. Please be advised. Okay, so you can also attach a file so that the team will be able to receive this notification. Okay, and then when you try to click here, you can see the modifications made by each user in the HR department, and not only their log files but also, okay, the monitoring of the transactions that they made. Okay, you can lock the entries if you have an emergency, okay, and then unlock it again. Okay, other features. Let's try to go up. When you click on the tools button, you have the tools for editing, so you can edit an entry, clone or delete an entry. This is for the export, so you can download your spreadsheet file, your PDF. You can print, you can mail merge, and make some notification settings. Okay, notify when a record related is updated. Okay, is created and saved. Now this is where you import also your your spreadsheet file. You can create a new sheet. You can sync with your calendar for scheduling and then connect with the other web applications. Okay, you can also send via email or SMS. So that's it. Now, before we move on, as just like what we told you, we're going to show you how to customize as we go along each module. Okay, in this part, it's trying to add uh, the components here using this example, and for us to do that, you just have to click on the change design button that is located here in our upper right. Click change design, and then you will notice that you have that our interface is now what we call the developer environment. Okay, so to show you how can we customize this is we have the following tabs: the add components tab, the field settings, and the form settings. Let's try first adding a component. Let's try to click here on the add components tab. You can see there are different components that you want to add, that you can add here in our interface. Let's try to add a text field. Let's try to position that here. Let's call it remarks field. Let's try to save this and then exit. Okay, let's type in, and this is my remark, and then save. Okay, great. So this is how we can customize this particular module, adding if you want to add components. So let's try to add another component. So click again here in our change design, and then go back to the add components tab. Click here. This time let's try to add a selection field. Let's put it here, and let's try to type in condition. And since we're going to set this as our selection field, you have to make sure that on the field settings tab, let's try to drop down. The component is a selection type. Since it is a selection, active, inactive, conditional. So we made three choices for our selection menu. Let's try to save this. And then let's try to exit. Okay. So here you can test drop down, which is active. Okay, great. Let's try to save. So that is one modification that we can make to customize our module for this system, adding a component, a text field, and a selection menu. Okay, so let's go now to our next module, which is the timesheet. Okay, let's try to add our first timesheet. Click new, and then in here we have to fill up our employee information drop down. Let's try to use the employee that we just created. So the system has already set its automatic ID. That's 3. Okay, we don't have to encode this. Okay, so period from the day, and then here. That's 8. Let's try to save this. Start date is today. See, our start time is from 1 o'clock to 4:30. It's total 172 hours. Normal. Let's type in normal. Schedule. Let's try to save this. Okay, and then the system is advising us to click on start approval. Okay, we have a step name for the direct supervisor, that is Chanda. For the agent, we don't have any user yet, so if we try to click here, okay, again, notice that the total hours are computed. So overtime hours is 163. Let's try to click on approval. Select users that need to approve this entry. Okay, we have to set a user for this one. So let's try to click here. Okay, so just set a user to approve this timesheet. Let's click here, approve. So we heard that notification sound means the approval has been set. Okay, so that's good. When we try to, let's check if this is the correct employee. Okay, that's good. Now before we move to the next module, let us show you, since we're here in the timesheet module and we tried to look upon how this computation has been made. So let us show you how to customize and modify this system that has a formula computation and the same illustration or orientation like what we do in formula computation for spreadsheet computation, like in spreadsheets for Google Sheets and Microsoft Excel. Okay, let's try to do that. Click change design. Okay, so again, the approach for this is exactly the same on how you deal or maneuver on formula computation using spreadsheets for Google Sheets and Excel. See, for example, we have the computation for the overtime hours that is computed using the formula. Okay, let's just be sure that the tab that we will be using is under the field settings, and then click under that, you click on the formula tab. This is the computation for that. So if A10, so this is A, and then 10, so that is we're pertaining to the total hours. Okay, and then let's see 10, that's for the legal work hours. It will be equal to and then the 810, okay, it will compute the overtime hours. Okay, so let's try to give a very basic example of this formula computation for us to make sure that we're using the same orientation as we do in spreadsheet formula computation for Google Sheets and Excel, for example. Okay, let's try to add our using our own fields price, and then there is quantity. Let's put here the total. So we want to put a formula computation just like what we do in spreadsheets, formula computation. So let's put our formula here. So we have the total, and for us to compute it, it's price multiplied by the quantity. So click here, and then for the formula, we just have to fill in, okay, that's F3 for the price, and then F column row 3 for the price, and then next is the F column row 4 for the quantity. So that will be for F3 multiplied by F4 will give us the total for. Let's try to save this, and then don't forget to apply this formula. Click OK, and then click exit. Let us now try if let's try it again. Okay, since this is record, try to click unlock record and approve this requirement for computation. Okay, so let's bring this down. So we have a price of 1,000 for the quantity of 5,000. Let's try to change the design again. Okay, so this is great. So for example, the price is 1,000. When we type in 500, okay, the system computes for the total. Let's change this to 5,000. And then this is also 5,000. It will give us a correct computation of 25,000. So that's good. This is how we customize using this system um, on a spreadsheet formula computation. Okay, that's it. So we're done with this module. Let's now go to the next module, and that is the overtime claim. Okay, so this is the module for our overtime claim. Let's try to drop down and then choose the records that he created. Let's try to save this first. And to check. Okay, we're looking at the correct record. Set here up to the 15th. Okay, the start date. Let's try to choose today. And then 1. Say first week, for example. 430. So the system has computed 219 time type requirement to finish. Okay, let's try to save this. And then again, the system is guiding us on the next process that we have to do, and let's click on Start Approval. Okay. Okay, we try to click on our Change Design mode, and then we try to click here on our Form Tools, and under that is we try to click here in our Configure Approvals. This is where we assign approvals drop down, wherein we can choose the level of users so that we can set a security on whom authorized personnel are the only allowed to grant access. Okay, so let's try to save. Let's try to exit and click on Start Approval. Okay, you will be asked if you want to approve or reject. Let's choose approve and then click OK. So there we have our approval for our overtime play. Okay, before we proceed to the next module, and that is the leave of absence, again, let's try to customize this. Again, click here on our change design. Okay, this time let's try to choose a file upload option. Let's put it here, and an image upload. So click under the add components, choose the file upload. Let's put it here. Try to name that upload file. Okay, and then next, let's choose an image upload. Try to save this and try to exit. Okay, so we have added another component. You can do this to customize your whatever module that you have in your system. You can modify this template, or you can do this from scratch. So this is very easy to do. Okay, so let's try to upload our file. Any file type, any file extension can be uploaded in this one. Okay, this time we try to upload an Excel file. When you hover your mouse here, you can see that the file that we upload. Okay, that's good. Now let's try to upload this time an image file. Okay, great. Modification is very easy. It doesn't require a programming skill or an in-depth knowledge on programming languages. Okay, let's try to hover just to check if this is correct. Okay, that's good. Okay, now we're done with this module. Let's try to go to the next module, and that is the leave of absence module. Let's try to click here. We have one record for the vacation leave. Try to click on this example. Okay, so description. Let's try to sick leave. Okay, from date 12 to 17. Hours will be 1 and then 4. So we have to fill in, of course, the entry ID of our employee. Choose Donatello. Okay, department is in production. Let's try to save this. Okay, again, we are being asked of the approval. Let's try to click here. Please select users from the drop down list. Let's try to click here. Okay, drop down. Sure, officer. Click. Okay, that's good. So we have here from the HR supervisor. Okay, that's good. Now we're done on our leave of absence. Let's try before we go to our next module. Just like what we always do, we're going to show you some of the modifications that we can create. Okay, let's do that again. Let's click on the change design. Let's check again on our add component. This time let's try to add a checkbox. Let's try to put it here. And try status. Okay, make sure that under the field selection, let's try to put on that. We're going to choose the checkbox. So it is a choice between yes or no, just to test the status for that. Okay. Another component that you want to add is a signature. Okay. Signature. Let's try to save this and exit so we can test if this made an effect. Okay. When you try to double click this, it has been locked from editing. Again, for us to do that, we have to go through this part and then click on the unlock record. Okay, for the status, to try to save this file. Okay, it gives us this remark, and then for the signature, this is where we can. Okay, so that's great. If you want to change, just have to click clear. Then you can load the signature save in your personal setting. Okay, if you will be using signature, a digital signature using an iPad or a mobile device, you can put on and add your signature. Okay, it's good. Now let's try to move to our next module, the staff requisition form. So we have our example for this one. Let's try to click here. Okay, assigned is the company name, the department, and then we have two choices. Again, these users were set in the beginning of this video. So request, it already has the request number, the date, number of staffs requested. For example, we have 10. We've already encoded our contact for application, account head, count position. Okay. So also the main responsibilities or the job description. We have a selection for the job type. Management position, no. Location is, for example, in Philippines. Travel. Okay. Salary negotiated. Okay. For the qualifications required. Okay. These are the values that we encoded. Okay. So applicant number. Let's try to save this first, so that you can see the effect. Okay, when you try to hover here, it's showing us the actual detail of that particular applicant. It's right here in our pop-up window on the right. This is the full name of the applicant, and then the checkbox says the interview has already the invitation accepted, the interview date, or when you can choose that. Okay, so output, accept job officer, yes. Okay, so this is the interface of our staff requisition form. Now, before we move on to our next module, and that is the job postings, let's try to customize and modify some of changes that you want to add. So click here on our change design. Okay, you can change the style of every layout. See the color. Okay, you can even maneuver on the positioning. Okay, you can change the position, put it here, and some of the layout that you want to check. And then notice that for every field, you can set it as a unique field, a read-only. Set if you don't want to permit cloning. If you want to hide this, you can do that. So on the styles, you can play on this one, but enough on the design and stylings. Let's focus on other modifications. Let's try to add another component. Okay. Okay. For example, there is a need for barcoding, just for the sake of, okay, make sure to drop down and choose if this is a barcode. Okay, the system asks if you want to add this component, and then click exit. So for the request number, let's try to copy this one and then paste it here. Notice that the system is creating that barcode for us. So when you try to hover that, you can do this in ID creation or for document auditing. Nowadays, companies are fond of using digital signatures, also associated with barcode or QR code for documents, document tracking. Okay, so that's it for the staff requisition form. Let's go now to our job posting template. Okay, we have just one record. When you try to click here, so we can already see the modifications that we just made. Also has the barcode for that, or a barcode or QR code for documents. Okay, request numbers was set. The department, okay. So these are the records needed for job postings. Number of staff. For the job description, we have the following fields. And then for the qualifications required, we also indicated here in this part. Okay, let's try to click on the button that the system is trying to suggest to us. So again, we can make a system like this one. You can modify this template or start from scratch. And in the beginning of this video, we already showed you how easy it is to maneuver, to make modifications and customize the system, adding components, even the layout and the design, and even having formula computations using spreadsheet formula for computation. Let's try to click the apply button now. Okay, we just created a new record. Let's see that. Okay, so now you can see here, this is the basic information of our first applicant. Let's try to upload a photo for this one. Okay, great. This is for example purposes only. And then we already have the details about this. Let's try to hover. Okay, so you can see that the system is telling us when you try to hover using this mouse that this particular applicant is applying for this position. Okay, driver's license, non-commercial. Okay, that's good. Other skills, buy data, resume. They can always attach his file here and then buy data file. Okay, can make other attachments. Okay. Some for the work experiences, it's already been said. Our staff just have to code and fill up the records. Okay, so let's try to save this. Okay, we're good in this module. Now we go to the applicant interviewing or applicant interview record. Okay, so let's check if this is the right applicant and then click here. Okay, so as you can see in this module, the applicant interview records has been saved to our database. Okay, the name of the interviewer, the department sales, okay, the company. Okay, it already has a flag on the notification that was already made. Drop down here. Okay, information below. So having this application, our human resources department will just have to see the action buttons that are being suggested by the system. Let's send, if they want to send an interview invitation letter, you have a button, action button for that. If they want to send a job officer, convert this record to employee management sheet. So this is very easy to use. Let's try to send an interview letter for that. Execute action, send. Yes. Okay. Send a job action. Yes. And then convert this record to. Okay. So we jump to this module and it's saying that assuming that this applicant has been hired, their record from the beginning on the application was already promoted on the database and it's already saved reflected in the database for our employee management. So that's good and very easy to use. Now let's go to our next, and this is the employee attendance. Click here. Okay, so this is the interface of our employee attendance system. Again, what we did earlier is that we add an image upload and a signature for that. Okay, so this is submitted. Okay, so that's it. Let's go to our next module. It's under the employee performance. Let's try to look at the interface of our employee performance narrative report. Okay, this is how it looks like. And then again, the system is giving us what to do for the next step. But just to examine, okay, drop down. We try to choose the record that we just created. Okay, save this. Okay, this record. Okay, so for the core responsibilities, it is indicated here. So for the performance assessment, we have here the description. Okay, coaching subordinates. Okay, that's great. Tardy approval. This is now the interface for the self-appraisal module. Employees must sign in here. They have to encode their job definition for the correct, the most, and the specialist and during special circumstances, their accomplishment, goal setting, okay, and development planning. Okay. And we also have in our HR system is the employee performance, a quantitative drop down. Okay. So the job description, the performance competencies, if they are highly effective or okay, drop down. Timely manner. Okay. So this is very useful for any human resources department to measure the proficiency of its employee when it comes to willingness. Okay. Try to save. Okay. So that's it. Now let's try to again make modifications and try to configure our control panel and look upon the other customizations that we can make. So again, for do that, let's click on the change design. We've already discussed the components that we can add, the field settings, and then the form settings. Now let's try to look here under the form settings or the actions tab. Choose what actions that you want to put on if you want to allow changing or permission if you want our users to set if they can download Excel file, PDF, they can print or not, and whose authorization can use the lock or auto lock or users that will be allowed to delete or edit the record. So we also have for the reminder, okay, and the form settings. Now, another important control module using this system platform is located in here. Let's see, our form tools. This is where we can link and load the sheets. As the title goes, spreadsheet to cloud database systems. Uh, we'll be dealing with spreadsheets that you can link and load, use multiple versions, or create a subtable and referencing. You can also use this tool to convert records, update the values, and send custom emails and also SMS. Now, included on the system administration is are the things that we can do under the form settings tool. So let's try to click on access rights. So we have here the access rights that you want to allow or not. Let's click another example. So we have the first category is the no rights. This user cannot access any of the modules. And the next is the survey user, wherein they can create and edit their own entries only. The viewer access, which is the third, can only view entries but cannot edit. And then Next is the bulletin user wherein they can create and edit their own entries and view all and other entries as well. And last is the create and edit all entries. This is the admin user. Now, the developer environment user for that, the admin also has an access on that module. So let's go back, form tools, and then click on actions. So this is one that we've already discussed. Okay, click on the reminders. If you want to be notified on the schedule, you can sync this system to your email, even if you're using Google or Microsoft. And also the application, the Dropbox is already linked to this. Okay, so for the conditional formatting, let's try to click add new rule. Okay, if you have a knowledge on uh, spreadsheets, formula computation, and programming languages using conditionals and other statements, you can use this module as well. Okay, conditional formatting, you configure approval. This is where we put restrictions or pattern steps, as you have observed when we're trying to look upon every modules. So on the current module, it is required, for example, that before you can go to the next step, you have to fill up the first step, and then the system will always guide you and notify you using a button. By just a click of a button, what is the next step to be done. So you can do that here. Let's try to add approval. HR submit, and then you can drop down and choose among users. You can modify also, set rules, and add approval in this step. Okay, so it's very easy to maneuver. Form tools. Okay, again, let's go to the form settings. So the text field, okay, you can always choose on that. You can set custom messages. You can recalculate formulas. You can hide the history in log and apply parent sheets entry access right. So if you will be dealing with database management, the parent and child relationship, or the link between sheets, multiple sheets, if you have a parent or subtable forms and sheets, this is where you configure that action. Next is the theme template. So you can change the design based on the layout that you want. Okay. So there are so many designs that you can choose from. You can always change the position of okay, even the size. Okay. Next is the mobile. If you want to change layout of your mobile app, you can freeze rows and columns, and then you can choose quick templates. Let's try to check. This is one of my favorite. Let's click here. Okay. So you have a template for the quotation, the purchase order. If you can remember our discussion on the sales order management, the purchase order, this is under the accounting, the customer, the invoicing, also the price list, opportunity for the template for the contract, the delivery note, the vendor, the merchandise, and the sales order. Let's try to scroll down. You also have the following templates for the sales lead, you want to create a project, the membership, the employee, the expense tracking, the material requisition. Last time we tried to discuss this on our budget and planning. Uh, the stock inventory, when we discussed the warehouse inventory, and then the password tracker, the job, the timesheet. Under this is under the human resources, minutes of the meeting, and the contracts. Let's try to click here again. Okay, so for the itinerary, the case notes, the document expiry management events, registration forum. So there's so many templates that you can choose from. And when it comes to company setting, you can always set uh, your own company setting if you want to put on your own logo, company logo, or company banner. Now, if you want to create a login page greeting for your browser that is set uh, using your company design, you can also show mobile app link, a watermark. Okay, so on the left is you can set your user accounts, uh, user groups, and then the access rights. Okay, so you can easily back up and restore your data. Okay, set go back to your recent changes. You can set job schedules and your database maintenance. And then this is your feature setting when this is where you set if you want to allow or restrict or permit users. Uh, for every system, there are different levels of authorization. This is where you set it. Okay, you can do that restriction or security setting on your import export, uh, the report, the mass action, basic actions. Okay, if they want to allow or disable these options for your users. Again, that is a security setting. Again, we would like to thank you for joining us in discussing this human resources system. These are the templates that you can make. Okay. Okay. So again, um, this system is web-based. Um, we showed you the features and services that the system can provide. You can always request if you want this to be on cloud or on premise using your own server located inside your company. And if you wish to to create your own development team and then support team, um, it doesn't require an in-depth knowledge in programming, although uh, for advanced settings uh, it is still an advantage. And then you can access this using your desktop, your laptops, and this is available also on your on Android and iOS. And it's very useful in managing companies if your company want to offer work from home, especially nowadays. And then this is portable that you can use it using mobile devices. It has, again, it already has templates for the different reports that you want. If you want a dashboard report, ranking, pivot table, list or menu of the activities, a label marker. This is useful for inventory management, warehouse environment, and if you want to link this to your payroll system or accounting system. Also, an address mapping, and this is for address, locations, and then for deliveries and itineraries, you can use your line graph a calendar, a Gantt chart, a grouping report, a pie chart, or any reporting tool that you can link on, as long as it can be recognized by the system. So, by the title itself, this is a spreadsheet to cloud systems using your company spreadsheet data to be uploaded and converted to cloud. So we hope that you enjoyed and learned here in our spreadsheet to cloud systems that you can modify, or you can start from scratch. Again, continue on this video series for more systems, features, and services, and how to customize. And again, at the end of this video series, we're going to give you the name of the software that we used for this review. Again, thanks for joining us, and thank you for watching.